Hi everyone, we are from Group 2. Today we are presenting for the Strategy Management Accounting with benchmarking topics. This video are presenting for Professor Madya, Dr. Fajraina binti Muhammad Jamil. Our group member are consisted by Nur Draika, match number 23453, Nur Jamil, match number 24710, Auchi, match number 2C1013, Mitra, match number 2C4932, No Corato Eins, match number 2C4856, and No Ariana, match number 2C5167. We have 9 parts of this uh, report, which is 1.0 introduction background of the chosen company, 2 background of the topic of issue, objective, literature reviews, methodology, findings, limitations, recommendations, and the last one is the conclusions. For the part 1 introduction background of the chosen company, we are choosing the Ecom Crop Cake, Senior Berhad. Our group choose this company to study the benchmarking techniques performed by the companies as the performance management system. Since the guideline recommends selecting a manufacturing company, that is why we chose this company. And this company are founded in 1980 in year 1985 and is a wholly owned subsidiary by the Ecom Berhad. Ecom Crop Care is a device company with business activity in various sectors of the major economy, including the agriculture and industrial chemical, oil and gas, engineering, things, romance, and information and communication technology sectors. The company also formulas and the market abroad various of the agriculture chemicals such as herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, insecticides, and reducticides, including the MSMA, Durant, Formex, Drops houses, D46, growth house signals, ammoniums, background factors, and more. It also produces its products in 2 factories in Malaysia that serving the local market as well as exporting to the country as far apart as Cuba, South America, Africa, and Central Asia. As we make our study more constrained, we also choose another manufacturing company which is Tufa Incorporated. Based on the Wikipedia, Tufa Incorporated is a manufacturer of optical material and semiconductors. Tufa Incorporated are found in year 1971 by the Carl Johnson. We selected this business because it is a verification integrated manufacturing company that produce new product for a various of applications in the communications, in industrial, aerospace, and military. Military semiconductor, capital equity, life science, consumer electronics, and the automotive sectors. The company has the research and development R&D, production, sales, service, and this distribution sites all over the globe, and it is headquartered in San Bruce, Pennsylvania. The company also manufacture a broad range of the application specific photonics and electronic materials and components that and deploys them in a number of ways, including the integrating them with sophisticated software to assist the clients. Since the above shipping company are manufacturing based companies, it is easier for us to compare how both implemented benchmarking technique as a strategy management tools and performance assessments. Besides that, we will compare the impact of a benchmarking in terms of the competitiveness. Further, in this study, we also will explain the recommendation from both companies as our last discussion. Let's move to the background of the topic of issues. Okay, benchmarking is a process of, what is benchmarking? Benchmarking is a process of systematic comparing organization processes and the performance in order to develop a new standards or improve on the existing ones. And benchmarking models are used to evaluate the performance of the business units, divisions, organizations, or corporations to that of other similar organizations. A benchmark is frequently used to improve the communications, professionalizers and the organization or process, or for the budgetary reasons. The performance also measure has been compared to the error measures that taken by the same organization at the different times or those. This is a significant indication of the organization rates of the improvement. It is possible that although the organization is developing the company, the competition is improving faster. Okay. Benchmarking is also focused on its findings and finding the best ideas, methods, and approach that can be implemented to the company and help it become the more efficient. Aside from that, benchmarking is a measurement process that can help a company to get a competition advantage. It provides many advantages for the company, like the enterprise may identify strategy marketing opportunity as a result of the competitors' comparisons, allow them to improve the quality of its products. As a result, the customer needs and the desire are the best solutions. Benchmarking also enables organizations to improve their operation and process, resulting in improved customer certifications, cost saving, and more effective management and employee works. It improves the decision making. When the benchmarking results are correctly interpreted, it leads to the organizations eliminating unnecessary business activity and focusing on priority. As a result, benchmarking is helped in increasing the business competitiveness. In this study, we will discuss the reason company use the benchmarking as a tool to improve quality and the company performance. However, they have issues that arise along with the implementer of the benchmarking, such as company performance become weak as they use these techniques. They do not prepare a proper comparison. Sometimes by applying it will several insecurity of the benchmarking to the management team. Other than that, benchmarking is able to help the company to meet the customers' expectations, and the company make the comparison between transactions and the process within the organization itself, which is internal benchmarking. In addition, it also allows the company to identify the strategy market opportunities to develop the competitive products and also help to understand the markets and also determine the market positions of the company based on the comparison with competitors. Finally, we have concluded that benchmarking is a tool of competitiveness. Okay. For our Generally, the purpose of this study is examine the implementers of benchmarking techniques in two of the manufacturing company in Malaysia. Specifically, we are study for we make this study as seek to know the background of Anchor Corp, Care Sdn Bhd and Tufa integrates and what kind of performance management system are being practiced by this both of the company. Second, our objective is to examine the impacts on benchmarking on the company's competitiveness. And for the third objective, we are using this study to identify the challenges facing by uh, a, a crop Care Sdn Bhd and Tufa integrate during implemented the benchmarking techniques. For the last objective, we are used to measure the efficiency and effectiveness of the manufacturing company by using the benchmarking techniques. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Mitra Ramakrishnan, metric number 264932. Now I going to present about the literature review. The first review that I focused on the overview, the concept of benchmarking. And what I found was that benchmarking is a corporate performance analytical tool that compares the processes and innovation of a firm, which have strong functional impact on efficiency with those of its perceived best-in-class contemporaries. I also found that benchmarking could be traced to the early days of human assistance, where people adopt a better way of executing tasks for improving the daily activities that were observed amongst themselves. The second review that I examined, I found that challenges faced by a company during implementing the benchmarking. And what I found was that the rapid benchmarking approach is likely to be of great interest to practitioners, providing them with a new way of finding solutions and best practices to address challenges that need to be solved quickly or with minimal expense. And also, this review is about the best practice of benchmarking methodologies undertaken to see if any of the approaches will provide advice or give examples on how long a benchmarking project should take. The third review that I focus also on the challenges faced by a company during implementing the benchmarking. What I found was that benchmarking framework applied to medium-sized urban public bus agencies in the United States, which has overcome the challenges of data quality, comparability, and understanding. And I also found that on the performance benchmarking that apply to all industries and modes of transport, which is worth recognizing that how benchmarking is defined can vary significantly and that the frameworks have been identified as successful, especially for public transport, which is the extensive performance metrics provided by several European Union transport benchmarking projects are often used as a starting point. The fourth review that I examined, I found that impact of benchmarking on the company's competitiveness. And what I found was that develops a two-dimensional advanced model of importance performance analysis IPA called Importance Performance Benchmark Vectors IPBV, which is based on vectors relationships between key attributes of service quality. These vectors are explored and described in competitive terms, and the model is discussed with regard to its implications for industry, practitioners, and researchers. And I also found that they used the benchmarking method to continuously measure and examine their business performance and practice against the organization which are considered as best competitors. Through this process of benchmarking, the organization compare themselves with the best of the best and constantly review processes, practices, and methods to ensure the strength of their competitive position relative to their competitors. The sixth review that I focused on the measure of the efficiency and effectiveness of the manufacturing companies by using the benchmarking technique. And what I found was that performance measurement and benchmarking is carried out at business level. While this is of value to be truly effective, benchmarking and the associated measurement of performance need to be aimed at other contributory levels within a business. Therefore, the measurement of and targets for strategic objectives can be developed throughout the organization and focused on the areas that can satisfy them. This is particularly important within manufacturing planning and control systems as they are designed to coordinate the execution of manufacturing activities to support customer requirements and strategic objectives. The seventh review that I focus also on the measure of the efficiency and effectiveness of the manufacturing companies by using the benchmarking technique. And what I found was that benchmarking quality results at significant effect to cost efficiency, delivery, and customer service performance. Benchmarking product development are positively related to product quality and cost efficiency performance. For benchmarking process management, the result shows significance only to product quality performance. Lastly, benchmarking leadership was found only positively related to cost efficiency performance. And I also found this review that is to initiate and implement successful benchmarking practices, which is a systematic and comprehensive strategy that should be practiced in the organization. And this benchmarking method involves learning about their own practices, learning about the best practices of others. The eighth review that I focus also on the measure of the efficiency and effectiveness of the manufacturing companies by using the benchmarking techniques. And what I found was that it was verified that even today it is difficult and often impossible to predict the future development of enterprises. Benchmarking is a very effective tool of company economic management. In time of crisis, it best shows the most stable companies in the market. These are companies that are able to succeed in today's market, retain their status, but mainly companies which are able to improve despite the unfavorable economic situation. I pass the next slide to my group member. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Jamia binti Taharim. My metric number is 264710. I will continue the presentation on the literature review that we focus on how to measure the efficiency and the effectiveness of manufacturing companies by using benchmarking technique. From the previous studies, we found that benchmarking as a comparison, innovation adoption, and improvement method is an essential to significant to the improvement plan of organizations. It has proven to an effective management tool for corporate performance improvement. From the previous study, we found that the various types of benchmarking are being used to measure the efficiency and the effectiveness of business. For example, strategic benchmarking, competitive benchmarking, process benchmarking, internal benchmarking, external benchmarking, and extra. By applying the various types of benchmarking, it will allow the business management performance get improvement from various aspects. the performance of business will continuous and sustainable growth. Next, we also found that the benchmarking can help companies to improve its performance for individuals, departments, projects, or the company as a whole, and use them to measure everything from the manufacturing production to employee performance. Hence, it shows that benchmarks are one way to readily identify the areas where it needs to improve. Next, from the article, we also found that benchmarking enables managers to determine what the best practice is, to prioritize opportunities for improvement, to enhance performance relative to customer expectations. Benchmarking makes it easy to identify the gap between where the organization would like to be and where it is. It also helps managers to understand the most accurate and efficient means of performing an activity, to learn how lower costs are actually achieved, and to take action to improve a company's competitiveness. Next, 5.0 is methodology. There is three methods that we have been used to collect the information and data, which are interview, articles review, and internet research. For the interview, we decided to interview Encom Crop Care Sdn Bhd and Two Seeds Incorporated. The companies were selected since they are applying benchmarking in their business activities. As the companies are not available to interview virtually, the interview was conducted through phone call. Due to this, the only representatives from our member participated during the interview. The interview was conducted in a semi-structured manner where it was conducted based on the question that we have prepared early. Also, the purpose of the interview is to determine how benchmarking been applied. In addition, the interview was conducted around 20 minutes and was recorded for the purpose of evidence. Next, through this project, we have been reviewed a few articles regarding benchmarking. We managed to find all the articles from Google and also the UUM library website. The article also included overseas studies. Thus, all the articles are being used to identify issues regarding benchmarking. Lastly, the main platform that we have always been used to gather all the information is the internet. We use it to search for the latest news, trends, and data regarding benchmarking. To complete this project, all the related information found are being used. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day. My name is Nur Zulaika binti Syamsul Bahri. My metric number is 264453. Now I will present on our findings of our study. Alright, the findings that we have gathered are mostly from the journal and website articles and also from the answered interviews by the representative of manufacturing companies. From our objective, we want to study the background of the Encom Crop Care Sdn Bhd and Two Seeds Incorporated and the performance management system that are being practiced by the companies. First of all, as mentioned by my fellow members in introduction, Encom Crop Care is a wholly owned subsidiary of Encom Bhd that manufactures and produces agricultural and industrial chemicals. According to Madam Asmaria, the Chief Financial Officer of Encom, the company has been practicing benchmarking techniques to show the development of the company and the improvement of the performance both in terms of production and revenue of the company. Encom are more likely to apply external benchmarking by comparing their company performance with the industry peers and average market competitors. Besides, one of the ways Encom use benchmarking technique is by giving out surveys to their customers every year so that the customer can evaluate Anchem's services and products provided to them. From the feedback, it will help the company to improve products and services that have been provided. Meanwhile, 26 Incorporated is also a manufacturing company that develops a wide range of application-specific photonic and electronic materials and components, as well as deploys them in a variety of forms, including integrated with advanced software to support their customers. Same as Anchem, 26 Incorporated practice benchmarking techniques within their organization. As regards to NPI program manager, the use of benchmarking process in their organization is to evaluate and upgrade their performance in any required areas and to make comparison among their competitors. Unlike Anchem, 26 are more focused on applying internal benchmarking. They apply it for daily routines such as managing daily sales, and also can be quarterly or yearly, such as to compare their performance between the departments and within their factory respectively. According to Mr. Nathan, each of their departments has certain and different goals or benchmarks that need to be reached. For example, setting a target to reduce the cost of production by 10% in the factory for that particular year. However, if it fails to achieve, the company needs to do recovery plan. Okay, as to conclude, both Anchem Crop Care and 26 Incorporated are practicing benchmarking techniques. To be specific, Anchem frequently use external benchmarking to compare their company's performance between their best real competitors in the same industry. Meanwhile, for 26, they tend to focus internally by comparing performance among their teams within their organization. Both companies have transparent and competent benchmarks to accomplish effective project management. All right, next we proceed to our second objective of this study, the impact of benchmarking on the company's competitiveness. As we read in several articles related to benchmarking, some of the expert researchers stated that benchmarking techniques have been used by most of the companies all around the world. Yes, this technique can assist the company in determining its strengths and weaknesses in relation to supply, demand, and market circumstances. Furthermore, it motivates the employee to reach new standards and aspirations in related area of activities, as well as increase the employee motivation. Staff boredom or a lack of challenge in their jobs may cause performance to deteriorate over time. It may motivate the workers to achieve their objective. Thus, it will give the better impact to the company in terms of competitiveness. Furthermore, benchmarking enables the company to determine what degree of efficiency is really feasible and how improvement may be made. Based on the answer of our interviewees, Anchem Crop Care does receive positive impacts from the benchmarking. As such, in terms of product quality, Anchem sees their competitors on what point they were lacking and how they can improve their efficiency, effectiveness of the production, and also the quality of the outputs. During the implementations of benchmarking process, they will collect all the relevant data from their best competitors to observe their records, such as revenues, profit, markets, and also new products. Then later, the company will evaluate the performance relative to the competitors and make competitive plan to increase the market share. All right, Anchem is exploring outside of the industry since they want to attain a high level of performance and become an industry leader. industry leader is a corporation that is regarded as most effective in its sector, is one that is best to sell more goods, generate more profit, and also have more well-known brand than its competitors. In Madam Asmaria's perspective also, benchmarking can help the Ancom Corpcare in many other aspects, not only in production, but also can help to increase other companies' value, such as employee performance. For instance, one employee decides to change his or her workplace at another company in the same industry. Hence, the employer will identify what are the advantages provided from the company and compare it with theirs. In addition, the way Ancom manage and prepare their business documentation also has its own benchmark. Ancom usually construct a budget based on their objective and what they want to achieve for that next year. Therefore, Ancom does not use benchmarks in their budgeting, as they always look at their capability and also cannot compare with other companies, since most companies have different markets and products. All right. In 26 Incorporated, insecurity is the impact of benchmarking on their company's competitiveness. When a business makes an unintentional comparison, it will lead to bad benchmarking. There may be instances when benchmarking fails to meet the needs of customers. This will result in a loss of revenues, necessitating the needs of specialists to devise a recovery strategy. Due to that, 26 takes full attention in implementing a strict and transparent benchmarking process so that the top manager cannot arbitrarily make this decision. Okay, same as Ancom, 26 also increase their employees' performance by reviewing and comparing employees in terms of timeliness, quality of their outputs, their disciplines, their behavior, and also their contribution to the company. This is because by applying benchmarking on employees, it can enhance the company's performance as a whole. In conclusion, most of the benchmarking give positive impacts to the Ancom. Meanwhile, in 26 point of view, benchmarking leads to insecurity if they fail to make good comparison. As a result, both will have different competitiveness. However, both companies can increase their competitiveness by applying benchmarking technique against any process, approach, function, or product in business by concentrating on overall views of a company. Benchmarking is a beneficial not just for gaining a better knowledge of business competitors, but also for increasing the efficiency and effectiveness of a company. That is all from me. I will pass to my fellow members to continue present. Thank you and stay safe.
Hi, my name is Noor Quaratu. I am Betty Shafiazan. My metric number is 264856. So now I'm going to continue with the presentation regarding findings that we get based on the interviews that we did with both companies. So these are the challenges that faced by both companies. Most of these challenges faced by Ancom Corp Sdn Bhd, while there's only one challenge that is faced by the 26 Incorporated company. So the first challenge is lack of data. So as we all know, benchmarking requires a lot of data for the company to have something that they can benchmark with. So most of this data usually comes from the competitors or from the industry overall. So the thing is, when they want to collect information from the competitors, sometimes competitors tend to hide their own data because it is something that's confidential for them. So also, if the company is in the industry that have a lot of firms, so it is very hard to have data on all firms that is in the industry. So because of this, it becomes a challenge for the company to have sufficient data for them to do the benchmarking in the company. So the second challenge is increase of dependency. So based on the interview, these are the challenges faced by Ancon Crop because in the interview, they stated that they use benchmark based on the competitors' performance and also the competitors' data. So this means that whenever they want to come out with a new product that is better than their competitors, they will need to rely on the competitors' performance. So because of this, they will lack of individuality or distinctive in their product because most of the product is benchmarked based on the competitors' performance. So this actually become a challenge for the company because they will need to always rely on the competitors' performance for them to come out with a new product that is more better than the competitors in the market. And the next challenge faced by Ancon Crop is the cost constraints. So as we all know, in benchmarking, the company require a lot of analyzation for them to come up with a good benchmark for the products. So the thing is, the company will need to have a group of professionals that have expertise in this area. So this means that they need to hire a worker that have professional qualification for this area. But for them to hire this kind of workers, they need to pay a higher salary. So because of this, it will cost the administrative cost to be increased if they want to hire more professional worker for this area. So also in benchmarking, whenever the company want to do adjustment, they will need to come up with a capital expenditures. So because of the cost constraints, it become a challenge for the company in implementing the benchmarking. And the next challenge faced by Ancon Crop is limited resources. So Ancon Crop, their industry include raw materials such as oil, gas, chemical substance. So the thing is, whenever they want to produce a product, it become hard for them because most of their raw materials are the types of raw materials that is very limited. And the next challenge is lack of facility. So for the company to come out with a better products from their competitors, they will require a machine that have advanced technology for them to come out with a better product. But the thing is, as I mentioned before, because of the cost constraints, this actually become hard for them to obtain a new machine that can have advanced technology for them to come out with a product that is better than other competitors. And the last challenges faced by Ancon Crop is lack of expertise. So based on the interview that we did with the company, they also stated that whenever they want to do a new project or plan for a new product, it is very hard for them to find a specialist to help them assist in the development of the new product and new project. And for the last challenge in the slide, this actually challenge faced by the 26 Incorporated company, which is lack of understanding. So based on the interview that we did with the company, they also stated that there is different interpretation between the top management and lower management regarding the benchmarking. So this is a challenge for the company because of the different perspective of the benchmarking. It will be hard for them to do same interpretation of the benchmark. So because of this, it will cause the company to not be able to implement the benchmarking appropriately, and they also might miss the mistakes that they did in the benchmarking. And next, I'm going to talk about the efficiency and effectiveness of benchmarking to both companies. So the first point is from the benchmarking, it allows the company to see the competitors' performance. So because they do benchmark based on the competitors' performance, so whenever they want to come out with a new product or innovation that is better than competitors, from benchmarking, they can know on how well the competitors' performance. So this lead to the second point, which is from benchmarking, it also help the company to improve performance because from benchmarking, whenever they want to come out with a new product, so when they did the benchmark, they will know which area that they need to improve for them to come out with a product that is better than competitors. And the third point is it also helps the company to set a measurable objective and require the companies to establish and maintain a minimum standard of excellence. This is because benchmarking is a combination of industry-specific best practices and rival standards that have been examined. And next, I'm going to pass to the next presenter.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Arina binti Adlan. My metric number is 265467. So today, I will present on my first part, which is limitation. There are few limitations during the project, which is the biggest limitation is to find a company that we can interview. So, at first, we found that many companies use this benchmarking technique in their organization. So we were delighted that we had many options of the company to be interviewed. Therefore, we decided to approach a few companies by sending an email, but we did not receive any response from them. Then, we decided to approach the companies by the different method, which is by the phone call. But many companies did not want to be interviewed by us. Maybe this is because most of the companies felt that our project will require them to share confidential matters regarding their companies. But at the end, we managed to find 2 companies that are willing to be interviewed, which are Encom Crops Care Sdn Bhd and 25 Incorporated. Second limitation is to find a suitable date and time for the interview. It's very hard for us to find a suitable date and time for the interview. So we suggested a few options of date and time, but it is a hard process to confirm the interview with the date and time with the company, because the person in charge need to check their schedule first, and there will be a possibility that they will have to attend other matters on the date and time that we suggest. The limitation is finding a suitable method to conduct the interview. Due to the schedule and time constraint of the company, we did not manage to hold a virtual interview, but we only managed to do the interview session by a phone call. But it is quite disappointing because when we have interview by the phone call, it caused the interview session can only be conducted by one person, and the other members cannot join the interview. The last limitations is interview by phone call will affect our findings because the recording by the phone call is unclear compared to the virtual meeting recording, and we were not able to get any attachment or document that can be included in our project. Next, I will present on recommendation, which is how does the company overcome the challenges faced during the implementation of benchmarking techniques. So 25 Incorporated will always come with a new method, but the new method does not come out in every quarter change in the benchmarking to benchmarking method. So there is more improvement needed that they need to focus, especially on the new method. If the technique or method they are used is successful, they will ask the person in charge that use the method, and they will look for the new techniques to apply it. So the company need to prepare another method and strategize their process to make sure that the managers can identify an efficient way to compete favorably in the marketplace, which is the company can identify the winning methods and strategize outside their industry that have been successfully implemented by other businesses, and also apply these strategies to their process. So, second one is, if there are any shortcoming, how does the company fix it by having the benchmarking that has been done? So this company stated that the reason why the problem cannot be solved because of the worker attitude. Okay, so which is the thing that others cannot control even in whatever situation, except the workers itself realize what they are doing. So of course, all companies have to face the problem occur, but they have to make sure that if they cannot solve the problem 100%, they can at least settle the problem on 80%. Because if they delay their work in solving the problem, it will give a negative impact on their company reputation and also on their productions. Next, I will explain on the recommendation on Encom Crop Care Sdn Bhd, which is this company has facing various challenges, which is they are facing competitors that produce a more effective new product. So due to this, it is critically aimed to find an opportunities to improve the quality and effectiveness of the existing product. So as the yearly feedback from the customer is implemented by the company, so it definitely can cover their benchmark. This is because from the feedback, usually from their customer, will give the rate based on their performance and the quality of the product. From that, the company can simply improve the quality of the product. Therefore, optimizing the improvement on the product is more preferable than comparing to produce a new product. So next, challenges that they are facing is a lack of expertise to increase the quality and effectiveness of the product. So the first one, the company need to giving a special training for the employee to boost their knowledge and skill is the best solution to produce expertise in the company. So instead of hiring external specialist, the company should provide a training program to the employee. But then the company need to analyze the employee who is most needed for the training. So for example, an employee that potentially can match with the expert skills needed is one of the best ways to increase the quality and the effectiveness of the product. So the last one is the ability to provide a training program to the internal is more meaningful rather than digging into external expertise. Conclusions is Encom Crop Care Sdn Bhd has implemented an external benchmarking technique, which is they use to measure the performance of ACC products, employees, process in order to ensure that their company is always within the company annual target and objective. Compared to the 2-5 Incorporated, they had practiced an internal benchmarking technique within their organization to evaluate and upgrade their performance in any required areas and to make a comparison among their competitors. So as a result, effective benchmarking tactics enable organization to achieve their target outcome and achieve their objective. So that's all from us. Thank you.